Zoom quizzes, DIY haircuts, the 2-meter rule, and not being able to find any toilet roll in any supermarket. Yes, I'm talking about lockdown 2020. An unprecedented, scary, emotional time for everyone. During a time where laws and guidance were designed to keep us apart, social media seemed to be the one thing that was connecting us. But did it? Did it connect us? Or did the echo chambers and algorithms of these platforms push us further apart than ever? As someone who's built, or so I'd like to think so myself, a successful business, predominantly off the back of social media, I'm well aware of the many pros and cons it provides. And whether we like it or not, it is here to stay. So my question is, how as consumers and users of these platforms, and business owners for some of us, how can we continue to utilize these platforms without losing human connection, and more importantly, losing ourselves? Over 4 billion people have a social media profile. That means that over half the world's population is on social media. When you think about it, that's quite a large statistic. One of the largest social media platforms, I won't say which one, has been around since 2004. So even though it's been a part of our lives for some time now, there's no denying that lockdown emphasized how much we rely on this technology, but more importantly, the effects it can have. Some of us use social media just to keep in touch with friends and family. Some of us use it for that, but also for a little bit more, promote our businesses, share our skills and talents. And some of us have built entire careers off the back of it, and our sole income relies on it. I'm not here today to tell you that social media is bad. I don't think it is all bad. But like everything in life, that quick dopamine hit, it's always going to have a good side and a bad side to it. And I think as users of these platforms, it's our responsibility to maintain that balance in our lives. Almost every profile you see, not all, but almost every profile is a highlight reel. We share, and in turn we consume, the very best bits of our lives. Celebrations, holidays, romantic gestures, personal achievements, being asked to be a TEDx speaker. It's almost become second nature to post about these things immediately after they've happened, or sometimes even during. But there's another side that we don't often post about. We don't post about our heartache, our failures, our sadness, our general down days. And we all have them, because that's life. It's what contributes to the balance that I keep referring to. But that's the thing with social media. It doesn't offer balance. We've all ended up in that pit of endless scrolling amongst perfectly curated profiles, and we convince ourselves that we're the only ones that have these struggles, these down days. We know we're not. We know that everyone has struggles. But when you're in that pit of endless scrolling and perfectly created profiles, it's really difficult to see past that and to get some perspective on reality. So what do we usually do? We try and put our phones down, we go into the real world, and we have real-life conversations. But lockdown stopped us doing that. Everyone was just online. So what then happens is social media ultimately took over our reality and became our reality. Lockdown for me was one of the worst things that could have happened, as I imagine it was for most of you. But in a weird way, it was also one of the best. I own a salon, so the closure of the hair and beauty industry for almost a year was a huge emotional and financial loss. But we thought on our feet, and we tried to move everything online, or as much as we could anyway. It's very difficult to do someone's makeup over Zoom, as you can imagine. But we did try to move as much as we could online. I posted behind the scenes of our salon renovation. I shared as many tips and tricks as I could, as many tutorials. It was great, because everyone was online. So my content was being seen by triple the amount of people that it usually would have been. Brands were reaching out for paid collaborations, and it motivated me to keep going. You could say that social media offered a light in a dark time, because it was a dark time. We're all aware that it was a dark time. People were divided, and emotions were heightened, and these emotions were then posted online. They were divided over lockdown, over the rules, over the guidance, over many a social cause and issue. And it was overwhelming. Political opinions and arguments were a daily occurrence, and I'm sure most of us, if not all, were subject to a debate online at one point during lockdown. Because that's the thing with social media. You're not just exposed to the light-hearted side of it, makeup tutorials or funny cat videos. You're exposed to everything, and it is incredibly overwhelming. In my opinion, I don't think as humans, we should be exposed to that many people and that many opinions all at once. At the end of last year, I deleted all of my social media profiles for about 5 months. I wasn't in a great place mentally, and social media was just emphasizing those struggles of mine. Everything that had become second nature to me, posting online, letting people into my daily life, it suddenly was so scary. The idea that thousands of people could read my opinions and see my work sent my anxiety into overdrive. So I'm very, very glad I took that break. It helped me to enjoy the present moment, and it quietened the noise around me. I would recommend frequent social media breaks for anyone. I know it's easier said than done, but it does make a difference. But I'd missed it. I missed social media. I missed seeing what my friends and family were up to, and I missed promoting my own business. And whether I care to admit it or not talking about the salon was slightly detrimental to the brand. Not because we lost a significant amount of money or clients or followers because we weren't posting, but because what made us unique, what made us special, what made people relate to us and in turn become customers wasn't being spoken about anymore. I feel like I've stood here and I've spoken quite a lot about the negative side of social media, but there is a positive side. As business owners, it's a fantastic way to show the person or people behind your brand. It allows you to demonstrate some authenticity. But again, life is about balance, and social media doesn't always offer that. And to repeat myself once more, I think it's up to us as users of these platforms to create our own experiences. If you're a consumer, filter through your following. Follow people that genuinely inspire you, because they're out there. I follow so many inspiring people. I actually found out about this event via social media. Don't hate follow, so waste of your time and your energy. And try and consume information that does inspire you and does make you feel good. I'm not saying put your blinkers on and ignore the reality of the world. But remember what I said about being exposed to so many opinions and so many people. It's important to remember that social media, it's an aid. It's not our identity. We do exist outside of it, as hard as that might be to think sometimes. If you're a business owner, think about what you want to contribute to the world. What value are you sharing? That's the good side of social media. How amazing is it that as professionals in your industries, you can share what's taken you years to learn with thousands of people at the click of a button. Social media, it's at the base, free advertising. I feel like as business owners, we'd be, a little bit daft not to use it. However you use social media, whether it's as a consumer, a business owner, or both, I think it's really important to remember one thing. The traits that connect us as humans, love, empathy, kindness, authenticity, being able to relate to one another, these existed long before social media did. No social media algorithm will ever connect us like a real-life conversation does. Because you're not just reading the words, you're hearing the tone of the voice, you're seeing someone's body language, and there's a human element connected to it. Social media doesn't include that. And that's why it's so important to remember, as I just said, nothing will connect us like a real-life conversation. I think if we can remember that, then we can navigate through this new, slightly daunting, online world just fine. Thank you. Thank you.